picking up on the discussion there of how to make lending a reality, the importance of blended finance, but this is a ministerial dialogue from vision to bankable reality. And as we know, here in the UAE, as the speech of Dr. Sultan Al Jaber yesterday indicated, these corridors for growth, there's an obvious advantage for the UAE with its geographic positioning, but the airline connectivity and port strategy to accelerate this growth in the future. Even the strongest financial appetite cannot succeed without aligned regulation, policy certainty, and coordination. But I would add here, without strategic partners who understand the aspirations of Africa, where energy access is so vital. I'd like to welcome onto the stage the Minister of Major Works and Strategic Investment, His Excellency Pascal Bida Koyagbele of the Central Africa Republic. Please, nice to see you. Give him a warm welcome. I have you right here. Nice to see you. I think we have to give you the top award for color coordination with the scarf and suit. His Excellency Dr. Thani Al Zeyoudi is the Minister of Foreign Trade here for the UAE. Warm welcome. Great to see you.
Good to see you, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pascal. Pleasure to see you. Thank you.
Gentlemen, we have 15 minutes, so I'm going to ask for us to be extremely direct. It's a delight to have you both together here. And you know, I was based in the UAE for 10 years, had covered the region, as Dr. Thani knows, for better than 25 years. And I thought this is a major springboard into Africa as a catalyst for growth. And in the last 3 years, it's been a profound shift in the strategy from the very top here at UAE, particularly Abu Dhabi. So I'd like to start on something very concrete in what the GSU has done. Beyond convening the GSU Forum as a company, they've actually made major strides into the heart of Africa. And I think we should be concrete with the construction on the 50 megawatt solar project with 10 megawatts of storage in Sakai. This is a profound shift in strategy to actually deploy assets. What impact will it have in terms of deliverables? Because, as I mentioned in my opening statement, energy access is the biggest challenge for Africa on the continent, but also Central Africa Republic. What impact will it have not only for the people of your great country, but also for industrialization there in Central Africa Republic?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much also to GSU. I'm very glad to be here. And also thank you very much to His Excellency. It's not because I'm here and invited by GSU, but I would like to explain, with your permission, a very special experience with GSU. You know, energy, economy used to be transform energy, like a big economist used to say. So it's very important, fundamental. For the vision, for the president, for the population, we need energy now to change the way of life of the population, not only in Africa, but all over the world. So we need energy. And the advantage and this great experience that we got with GSU and also with UAE and with this INS, the two presidents in June decided to implement this project. So they talk about it. 1 week after, we signed a MOU with GSU, and immediately they sent a team. 1 month after, they began to work. And this project, in 8 months, is going to be finished. We are talking about 60, and now they increase. They give us 5 megawatt more, 65 megawatt. In 8 months.
4 months ahead of schedule, am I correct?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. It's amazing. Amazing why? Because, and we can explain it based to the fact that two great leaders, some visionary leaders, decide to implement this project. And also GSU and resource investment and also minister was involved in this project and also used to be committed but dynamically for the implementation of this project. It's the first time, it's a long time. You know, the priority of the president, Touadéra, is to solve this problematic of energy. He's got a great ambition. He wants to initiate an economic revolution, but for that, we need energy. We need a lot of energy. And it's the first time, you know, we worked with different partners. And until now, I'm still surprised how we implemented this project so quickly. And I think that's the real partner that we need. First, UAE with His Highness, because also His Highness used to follow up with His Excellency this project, but also the President Touadéra used to follow up this project, and this project is going to cover the needs in the capital in terms of energy. There is some other needs because the President's got a great ambition to industrialize the country. For that, we need more energy, and based on this experience, we're going to continue to deal with GSU and now to realize the dream of the President to implement 5,000 megawatts in 7 years.
Great. I have a quick follow-up question before I bring Dr. Thani, and I'm sure you'd love to hear your answer on this. What is the one major reform, Your Excellency, that you had to put in place for a UAE to say, I'm going to put my chips on the table and invest in you? That's, I think, would be interesting to hear, because you're handling major works and strategic investment for the country. What was the trigger, do you think, in terms of your policies that got the attention of the UAE?
With the UAE, so there's many things to do. You know, we're a very rich country. We've got almost all the raw strategic material to implement the next economic and industrial revolution. And based on this, there is a strategic reform that the President Touadéra used to work on it, for us to be involved in the next economic and industrial revolution. We're talking about the quantum revolution, economic revolution. For that, we need to digitalize now the economy. We need to digitalize now the administration. So when I'm talking about digitalization, we're talking about AI. And to prepare the administration, the business people, also the population, and our administration now for this next quantum economic industrial revolution. So it's for that, and to do that, like we used to talk about it, we need energy, a lot of energy. Like, you know, all this new solution, this new industry, the quantum industry, and also the digitalized AI also used to consume a lot of industry. So now the problematic of energy is very important, and we have to solve it. And also in Central African Republic, we've got the solution of this issue of energy, because the President used to think in my country that the solution of energy for the world is going to be about the supraconductivity. And now, when we're going to develop this solution in terms of supraconductivity, because we've got all the raw material in this country, we're going to find the solution in Central African Republic. For that, with the UAE, we have to work together now to find some technical and technological solution with the raw materials that we can find in Central African Republic now to solve the problematic of energy in terms of supraconductivity.
Great. Thank you very much for following up and giving us that clarity. Dr. Thani, I had the fortune to cover and then follow since then this trajectory on the SEPA agreements, the Comprehensive Economic Partnership agreements. You signed this week with Nigeria, so you had a very busy start to 2026. But if you look at the strategy, I want to use an energy analogy. It's almost that the light switch went on in the UAE and said, okay, Central Africa and the continent is a strategic priority. They actually deserve this investment. In my early days in Abu Dhabi, it was the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development that was kind of handling these grants and minor projects, if you will. This has gone to a whole new level. Why is it so strategic for the UAE to do this?
Thank you, John. Let me start by, first of all, expressing our congratulations to the President of Republic of Central Africa for the re-election. I wish him all the best. And I would like as well to express our special thanks to His Excellency Pascal for the leadership and the personal interventions in most of the discussion. And that's why this is one of the main factors of the speed of the work that we've been doing with the Central African Republics, having such a loyal and national person within the country who's facilitating most of those projects to move forward quickly. Now, speaking about the CPA, 9 out of 33 agreements that we have concluded are from Africa. And we signed one with the Central Africa Republic last year, and we're looking forward for the ratification so we can fully utilize the agreement. The African nations in general are having a huge potential, huge opportunities for our private sector, and we share so much of commonalities and thinking when it comes to principles, looking at our people, looking at the young generation, applying the technology like the digitalization, which His Excellency was talking about, but also using our resources for the long-term developments of our nation. Now, when it comes to the seriousness of the projects which we've been doing in Africa, GSU has been taking one of the concrete steps in many of those nations, in Central Africa Republic, in Chad, and many others, and shows that sometimes the big companies, if they see the administrative cost cannot be making those projects visible, such companies can take over and move things forward and move things in much quicker as well timeline in delivering the projects. And that's the applaud that we give it to GSU and its team for the leadership in the sector. Now, let me go back a little bit, John, if you allow me. Now, the backbone of any economy is two things: the energy, which is the GSU muster, and many of our international investments are contributing to those growth of different economies around the world. And the second one is the logistics. And looking at both Central Africa Republic, Chad, they're landlocked nations, and without logistics, dry ports, and connecting them to the right port accessibilities in the region, will not be able to really have that impact which we want to see in such nations. Third one, which is as well critical, but it's going to come while doing those projects. The wealth and resources that they have that's going to contribute to the world. They do have a huge food security capabilities, which we need, and it's a natural interest for us in the country. It's another one which is now the whole world is talking about the critical minerals which those nations are having, and it's going to contribute to the industrial revolutions around the world. And third point, which is as well in the same context, is the talents which they have, and we do believe that they do have many of the talents which we can as well have them within our markets, or at least to work in our projects in the African continent.
Great. Can I have you both answer this question? Because everybody seems to think a country like Central Africa Republic has those strategic minerals, and then we go mine it, and then it's done. I think it would be great to hear both of you on the strategy to build the infrastructure around it. So number one, you talked about the energy in the capital, Bangui, and that'll make a big difference for industrialization. How do you accelerate with the partnership here in the UAE on infrastructure? Because the port leadership you have both in Abu Dhabi and Dubai is world class, but how do you make sure there's connectivity on infrastructure? Minister, you want to start?
Yes, so infrastructure is very strategic. Like we used to say before, energy. We have to begin with energy, you know. We used to, like our leadership, the president used to say, we have to have a methodology of development.
Yes.
And for that, we have first to develop energy. It's infrastructure in terms of energy, roads, and for the connectivity, and also some social infrastructure, hospitals, schools, and also some other infrastructure to create and support a very dynamic ecosystem for business people, for administration to enjoy their activities and now be in a dynamic logical of development. So based on this, with our strategic partner, with UAE, we've got a roadmap, a plan. We cannot give details here, And the two leaders, the President Todera and His Highness.
We trust that you have a blueprint for this.
Yeah,
right?
the two leaders got a strategic vision for the development of this brothership relationship, but also the different departments, we have to work on it to implement this vision based on the specific strategy. But it's very important to develop this different infrastructure, and with the support and the experience of UAE, the president is going to be in capacity to realize his economic miracle. Based on we're going to learn a lot from the experience of UAE. Like you can see, Dubai, Abu Dhabi is a great model today in terms of development, and we used to learn a lot from this experience, and now we're going to implement and we're going to make, something change in Africa now. We are not here to ask for help. We are here to make deal, like the president used to say, to make good deal. And thank you to UAE, thank you to the Minister, His Highness. We made very great deal with JSU, for example, and now in terms of infrastructures, there's different projects and different also with structure also already. I cannot give some details, like I was saying. It's going to be a surprise.
But it's obviously a very good start.
Allow me, John. I
Yeah,
want
please,
to jump
go
in
ahead.
here quickly.
Yep.
We have to look at the mining sector from a macro level first, because when it comes to mining, the large reserves and the small to medium. Large reserves are gone, the majority is globally, including in Africa, except of certain locations. And to reach the large reserves, you have to have the right visibility studies, seismics, et cetera, which we're working closely with many of the African countries. But the main issue in Africa is the artisans or the small to medium size, which use a lot of non-environmental practices, which we're as well bringing this practice to reduce the uses of mercuries, et cetera, in the mining and extraction itself. Then it moves to the logistics. And through the investments that Abu Dhabi ports did and the acquisition of Nuatem, we're having the capabilities of movements of the minerals from the sites into the logistical ports, so we can ship it globally. And the third point is the refinery itself. Is it going to be within the country or outside? And the majority of the African nations now are pushing for the refineries within the continents, which we're pushing as well very much. So the different steps, we do have the capabilities when we have the interest. So we're exploring many of the potential within Central African Republic and many other African nations. The good thing about the intention here is to bring an added value and to ensure that there is recruitments or employments associated with the project and sharing the revenues, which for sure is going to be impacted on the developments of those nations.
Good. I have a quick follow-up question for you. I mentioned in my opening remarks, I think it's a black eye in the world that we have 750 million people without access to electricity, and 500 million of them sit in Africa, and the heart of Africa, like the Central African Republic, have struggled with this. And I know this is a priority even in the SEforAll, where I'm a board member. Can we really move the needle here between now and 2040 to get that electricity into Africa? And my second layer of the question, the minister talked about AI. There's a belief that AI will leave Africa further behind because of the energy required for it. And I know there's $1 billion investment fund by the UAE to make sure that doesn't happen. So how do we deal with both of these things so they can really grow as countries and as a continent?
Let me start with the energy. I think the model which is now start applying in Africa is very attractive to add more capacity of renewable energy and energy in general into the continent, especially that you don't need to be connected to the grid to produce energy. So you can do it on site, close to the consumers, and from there they can buy and sell and buy directly. That model is going to be a game changer from now until 2040, so we can fulfill that demand. We believe in that concept, and we're looking as well to continue exploring this with many of our partners especially from the private sector, who can take the burden from the governments of the African continent's nations. So that is a model which is very successful. It's not been applied in a larger scale, which we're seeing in Africa.
Can I ask you something just very quickly? That would be a GSU as a company,
That is
Masdar, Taka, coordination.
So we do have that diversity, and many of the even private companies who are having bases in UAE, and from there they're going there. But the potential is there. as long as we're having the right agreements, protection of investments, the diversified de-risking of the finance which we're doing, bringing many of the international investors with us. So, and from there, we're shifting to the AI. Yes, we do see an AI as a huge potential, a young generation, a growing young generation. They're having a good now picking up accessibility and penetration to the internet, which means that they will have a huge capabilities and added value to the AI driven. Now, it goes back to the infrastructure, and it's not only the AI infrastructure, but also the energy infrastructure, the logistic infrastructure, which needs as well to relook at from the holistic point of view, not only from a narrow project basis, because the continent needs a holistic strategies, but we have to start. We should not wait until we complete the ideal strategy, which usually will not happen if we keep continuing pushing it further.
Great. I could go for another 15, 20 minutes, but we're out of time. I greatly appreciate your contributions.
Last word, if you,
Okay,
with your
really?
permission. I would like just to...
No, absolutely. If you can do it in a minute less, I would be grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So it was important for me to also to say something. The thing is very special and very interesting with this relationship and with UAE for Africa. It's, you know, based on mineral resources, many other partners just used to be interested about our mineral resources to get it and transform it outside. The big advantage with UAE and with His Highness and also his team is they want to exploit with us the mineral resources, transform it in Africa, and now see how we can trade it in Africa and in UAE. It's another type of deal. It's a win-win deal, and it's very interesting. So thank you very much for that. We have to also appreciate it and explain it to the world. This new type of cooperation, this new type of economic relationship, which can be good for Africa. Thank you.
As a former emerging markets editor for CNN, I was waiting for this moment to take place, right? It's long overdue, and I'm glad to see this has been a breakthrough year, I think, in terms of relations and the work that's being done by the GSU as a company on the continent as well, moving rapidly to do so. Thanks a lot to both of you. Can we give a warm thanks to them?
Thank you.